All right, Woodman Hills Metropolitan District regular board meeting for Thursday, April 25th, 2019 is now in session. Next item will be roll call. Troy Stinson is present.
Nicole Mann's present.
Russell Ryder present.
And by phone,
Sherry Ringen. Carl Lucas. And Jeremy Steppenwell.
okay.
We need to do it again.
And we have executive session, correct?
Yes, I have a matter I need to discuss.
Okay, I motion that we enter executive session for determining positions relevant to matters that may be subject to negotiations or CRS 246402-4E and personnel matters CRS 246401F1.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. We're now in executive session, closed session. So we're, President's welcome and remarks. We have a very slim room today, but thank you all for coming. Appreciate it. I don't know if that's good or bad, that there's only 4 of you here.
It's a good thing.
So, would somebody like to welcome? Thank you guys for coming. Hopefully this is a quick meeting. Does somebody want to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
More than happy.
She raised first.
Okay, go ahead.
It doesn't matter. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All right, approval of agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as written.
Second.
All right, any discussion?
Wait, no, we have to change it because we can't talk about 12.
Well,
Because we need to discuss it in executive. So we need to amend the agenda.
Do we need to discuss 12 in it? I don't think we need to.
Oh, I thought we were discussing it.
Jerry got to. Falcon Highlands IGA. Do you want to go
Was that supposed to be executive?
The Falcon Highlands IGA is really a done deal. Ted worked with Barb and
Oh, we're not there.
and he.
We're not there yet.
We were just
Oh,
wondering
I
if
just
we
wanted to
need to
make
talk
sure
in
that you didn't
executive.
need.
I was trying to make sure I remembered
Okay.
to post
Yeah, I think we're
it.
good.
Sorry.
Okay.
Okay, all in favor of approval of the agenda?
Aye.
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 Okay, any opposed? All right, motion carries. All right, approval or disapproval of board minutes?
I motion to approve the board minutes.
Second.
Any discussion on the minutes? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay.
Wow, that phone's better.
No. Okay, motion carries. Attorney's report.
Can folks hear me?
Yeah, speak loudly though.
Okay, I've never accused you of not talking loud.
Really?
I wanted to take a moment to compliment Gary and Corey. Corey negotiated a landscape contract, did an absolutely excellent job. I think it came in for something around half what was budgeted. She did a tremendous job. Then she settled personnel matters in a very reasonable way, and I want to compliment her for that.
Thanks, Ted.
Jerry, you're welcome. To Jerry, I want to compliment Jerry. He was the driving force, did a wonderful job in negotiating with Falcon Field the inclusion agreement. It wasn't simple, took a variety of meetings. Jerry's steady hand got that done.
nice.
Thanks, Jerry.
Thank you, guys.
You're too kind, Ted, thanks.
Yeah, don't say any more nice things about Jerry's head starts getting big.
We can't hit that too far away.
Your check's in the mail, Ted.
Yeah, right. Anything else, Ted?
No, nothing else.
Okay. Really? All right. Number 9, financial report.
Carl, did you have a chance to look it over?
Rachel, did you have any thoughts on the financial reports?
Thought they looked good.
I'd like to talk about the Park and Rec.
Okay.
I meant to do this last one. You know, the team is really working hard to keep their costs down, hence for example, our deck refinishing, you know, we saved $24,000 by going out and looking at other vendors. So the team is really keeping their costs down. We have a budget number, it doesn't mean we have to spend it. So I just wanna compliment them on record, cause they've done a really good job.
Thank you. And I looked through these beforehand, and yes, you guys are doing a very good job of cutting costs everywhere.
Yeah.
And keeping us well below budget, and it doesn't go unnoticed. So very good job. The numbers look real good so far this first quarter.
One thing, I guess, for the financial report is we did complete our audit that was done last week, and they will give a report hopefully next meeting to you guys, so.
I was just gonna bring that up.
I heard it was done early, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was done in 4 days.
And I think we need to commend Rachel
Yeah.
for the changes she's made to allow it to go
Very good
so
job.
easy.
'Cause it usually
Great
looks like
job,
a month,
Rachel.
wasn't it?
Thank you.
Unless it comes
It was
in,
like
unless the
60.
report comes in bad.
Yeah.
Well,
You won't
Yeah.
be having to do it.
when I heard it wasn't, but
Then they
we'll
will
let them
amend the
report.
minutes.
We'll vet it before we let it go.
Yeah. Alright. Any other discussion on the financial report? Okay, all motion to approve the financial report.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Can you guys hear me?
I
Okay. Alright, Parks and Rec report.
Great, I wanna start off with the facility renovation update. The committee met, this past, yesterday, right? Yeah, yesterday, and, Jim Spriel, who was here last month and spoke to you all, spoke to the committee. I'd like to introduce Katie Newbell. She's going to be the spokesperson for the committee, and she would like to update you all.
Hi, it's nice to be here, thank you for having me. So as Corey said, we met yesterday. It's not the first time that we've met, it's a couple meetings that we've had now. We've gone over several ideas. Jim conference called into us, and so we just wanted to update you all and let you know that the figure that he will be giving to us, hopefully within the next week or two, is going to be a turnkey figure. It's not, we're not gonna have a lot of extra things involved there, so that was very important to us, as I'm sure it will be to you, to know the full impact of what we're discussing. And so, having said that, there are lots of ideas floating out there, and so this project, if is decided to do, can be done all at once. Also, it can be done in phases, so the quote that we will be receiving can be done in phases. So that, again, was of importance to us. So we're hoping to have these figures to you by the next time that we meet. As far as the financials go, we're waiting to hear about the audit before we can have further discussion on that.
Fair enough.
Okay. Am I missing anything?
I think you covered everything, and just to touch on the financials, that will just give us an idea of where we are and how much more we need to generate. And as I pointed out to the committee, our capital for Park and Rec this year is quite high. We're fixing a lot of things, therefore our capital next year will be low. So our budget for 2019 would reflect that, or 2018 would reflect the capital in 2020, right? Yeah. So our capital will be lower next year.
Our net income in
Yep.
2018 will reflect capital for
Yep.
2020.
So our capital will be lower next year, therefore that'll allow more money to go toward the expansion. And I know Jerry and I spoke a couple of months ago about making sure that money is actually allocated and put in a Park and Rec expansion account, and we don't touch it for anything else.
Which we do.
And he reversed her.
Yeah, we do that already.
So, very positive. Thanks you all for meeting. Thanks Kate for being our spokesperson.
Thank you. I have
Unless,
a quick question.
sure.
Before I forget, because I'll forget it, I'll ask it now. Out of district, fees for use of the rec centers, what are they? I got a couple emails this past week about people saying they got quotes of like $120.
Yeah, we had talked about that last Monday. I don't know what they're referring to, because if you don't live in the district, your monthly swim pass is $50, and that's good for 30 days. Your drop-in is $5. You can take fitness classes, they're $3. So I don't know where they're coming up with the 120. If you would like to direct those to me.
I did, I don't know if they have
No,
contacted you.
no, they haven't reached out.
But
Mm-mm.
they
Yeah,
told them to.
I'm stumped on what they're talking about. So
Right.
what I can do, so you can answer them, better, is I can send you those fees.
That'd be great.
Yep, and then you can answer them better.
Hopefully they just contact you direct, but.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I haven't gotten anything.
All right. That was it. Go ahead. Sorry.
Okay.
I just didn't want to forget.
That's okay, that's all right. And then last month I had, passed out the part-time employee handbook, so I'm not quite sure if you all had a chance to review that. If not, we can certainly, look at it next month. We do have our all-quarter, staff meeting in service on I believe it's May 19th, and that really was my target to give them the new part-time, employee handbook. This is our summer, all staff in service. So, any comments on it? Did y'all have a chance to review it? If not, I
Only
can.
got through about a quarter of it. with
Okay.
Everything else that I've had going on.
Yeah, absolutely. So we can certainly look at it in November. We will have another in-service in June that I can present it to them then. So, summer operations I want to talk about. Our summer outdoor pool will open on Memorial Day, 10 to 4. And then our hours will be 10 to 6. And we did this because we listened to what our residents were saying last year, and they wanted it open earlier. So we're opening at 10. That gives the moms time to get here, get the kids swimming, get them home for lunch, and get them into a nap by 11:30 or 12. Same amount of hours, we're just opening an hour earlier and closing an hour earlier because we just didn't have any attendance from about that 5:30 time frame on. So we made that adjustment, and it is 7 days a week. I have contacted the building department. They are going to help me here, look at our capacity, and if there's something that we can do and that we can get more bodies in.
Okay.
So I should be able to update y'all next month. Facility update, RCE, I wanted to highlight our usage. Since January 2019, we've had 7,136 visits. That's a 38% increase from 2018. I 100% attribute that to, well, our swim lessons are going up, but the new cardio equipment we have. I really attribute it to that. We're seeing people like they're coming out of the woodwork, we've never seen them before. Our flagpole will be installed sometime this week. The fitness floor room is being refinished this weekend. It's not gonna affect any fitness classes. The pool deck, as we speak, is being enhanced with our completion date of May 4th. They're really knocking that thing out. We're hoping that we can open sometime mid next week. Really looks nice. Just amazing, the difference. The potholes in RCE parking lot were repaired Monday and Tuesday of this week, and I'm sure y'all drove in and saw the potholes being repaired out here. That was mostly due for that blizzard. We took some hard snows this year, so we need to do that. We are gonna look into redoing the parking lot in its entirety next year, seeing what that cost is gonna come in at. There's some deep cracks in there, so we need to be looking at that. We'll see what it comes in at. Let's see, CTF funds, our locker rooms, our new countertops and sinks and faucets, they'll be going in on Monday. Lowe's has been very challenging, but they're going in on Monday. Here for CCW, our usage since January has been 11,613. Y'all, these figures are important to keep in mind. So there's 18,000 people since January for that expansion. So we may not get usage at RCE now, but you must take the figures here and the figures at RCE and combine them. Potholes are being fixed. The outdoor pump room, it was a capital, was upgraded and was completed. The system was 15 plus years old. The CEM was able to reconfigure. Our poor guys were down, almost hunched over as they're trying to make their way around the pump room. It's very small. They were able to reconfigure the piping, so actually now Nick can actually stand up when he's working in the pump room. Programming updates. April swim lessons went well. 58 registered. Our private swim lessons are just really rocking, and it puzzles us because they're so much more expensive, but people are liking them. Spring soccer, our first game was held on April 20th, and then it continued through May 13th. Of course, our teams for spring soccer are always at 100%. T-ball registration began April 1st, and we have 25 participants signed up. Of course, our Parents' Night Out continued to be strong for us. In June and July, we'll have 2 Parents' Night Out instead of just one. Easter egg hunt, we had it this past Saturday. On land, we had over 600 kiddos ages 0 to 12 hunt for 12,000 eggs. Do you hear me? 12,000 eggs. They were all hunted and put into their baskets within 5 minutes. So, shoot, mass chaos. We had a bounce house, tattoos, Easter bunny, of course, and the fire trucks. It's just a wonderful event, and we always partner with Falcon Fire Department. In the water, we then did our aquatic in the water event that night, and we had 200 plus kiddos hunt for eggs in the water, so that's an astronomical amount of children as well. It was fun. We did a lock-in right after spring break, so we missed the last meeting to update you. We had 22 youth, 3rd to 5th grade for our spring break lock-in, and we'll be having a summer lock-in this summer, which will be kind of fun for the kids. They'll be able to swim at night. Silver Sneakers Flex, it has increased by 60% since we began on February 20th. I think, Neva, you attend them? Yep, so they're really going off really well. And then we're adding an H2O in May, I believe, Fran, we're gonna add the Silver Sneakers H2O for the water. And then we do have a new program over here at line dancing. As you leave, they still might be going on. They're in this room right out here on Tuesday and Thursday night, so it's happening right now. What's happening in May, we have our quarterly in-service, T-ball registration continues, and then of course our bingo, Parents' Night Out, outdoor pool opens, and then we have our dive-in movie. So we're walking.
Thank you, Corey.
Yeah, no problem.
All right. Water and wastewater report.
All right, so, we're seeing better weather now and be able to get out more cleaning mains and inspecting mains. Another thing that's been hampering us there somewhat is the work that's ongoing at the new wastewater plant. We've been doing some things, you know, they put up a fence, we've been moving some water around. We had Varus cleaning sludge out of cell 4. And sludge cleaning in a lagoon happened every other year, maybe every 3rd year if we pushed it. Now sludge is being hauled off weekly, yeah, out of the new plant. It's a completely different operation. But at any rate, cell 4 requires a lot of extra attention. The guys are still working on that. But at any rate, so that'll be wrapped up and we'll be able to get back at cleaning and inspecting. Lift stations, lift station 1, the one we want to replace, is having problems with a check valve. And we do have a check valve on the shelf. We had some parts sitting there anticipating that we were gonna have to possibly replace some things in that lift station. However, it's not an easy task. Everything's iron pipe, flanged, everything's made to fit, and so to get an old check valve out and get a new one in, especially since they weigh in excess of 200 pounds, and there's just no room to work on there. So we're hoping that this thing, you know, will make it until we can, get the new lift station up and running. Did have some problems with, out the new wastewater plant, variable readings on DO caused us some operational problems, got that remedied. DMR QA, this is something that, since we do our own lab work, which is for the, DMR, which is the report that you file every month on your, test results. We get samples sent to us that we have to analyze, send in the results, and then we're graded on how we do. So, it's a study that we've been doing every year for the last, several years. But it does take up quite a bit of time. But it proves our guys can do what they need to do in the lab. And regional wastewater, resource facility is winding down definitely. We're getting to last couple things on the punch list and, final payment, so, which we've been negotiating now, so. Water is, doing very well. The midpoint VFD is an interesting thing. We had, during the blizzard, snow blew into the cabinet, shorted some stuff out. Shorted out one circuit board, was about $3,000 to replace that. Fuses are like $600 a piece, and it's crazy. So, come to find out that there used to be a building over these aren't intended to be outside. That building hasn't been there since I've been here. So I don't know what happened, why it was removed, anything like that, but we have to remedy this. And we're looking at, installing another building, like a tough shed, or, possibly getting cabinets that would be weatherproof to enclose these VFDs. So, but the VFD is a pretty expensive piece of equipment too, $20,000 a piece, something like that, so. We'll be addressing that. Had an operator that went to school all last week, and then we had another operator that was playing soccer with his grandson and tore his hamstring, and that laid him up for a week. He's back at work, limping around. We're not giving him too much sympathy though, but nevertheless, it still shorted us a little bit. And then we have another guy, of course, that had shoulder surgery. I can't say that very fast.
I seen him out on the
Yeah.
side of the road.
Right, he's working.
I seen him out there, he looked more like he was supervising.
Well, he's pretty good at that. But, no, he is our chief inspector, and, he'd rather be here than sitting in a chair at home convalescing, so he's welcome to be here. But anyway, yeah, so we're down really kind of a couple people right now. Any questions?
No,
Okay.
thank you. All right, Falcon Highlands, IGA.
Okay, so this is the IGA that was reworked. Ted and Barb, duked it out over this, and I think they came to terms. And, but this is for Woodman Hills to operate Falcon Highlands water system.
I have a question about number 6,
Number 6,
on page 5.
number 6 under, oh, Roman numeral 6,
Yes, yes.
okay?
Cooperation with other contractors. I was under the impression that we would hire the contractors, but it says Woodman shall fully cooperate with and accommodate the work of contractors, and that Falcon may award or execute contracts relating to his facilities and services.
Correct.
I thought last month we had discussed Woodman taking over, or doing the contractors.
Okay,
not
so
Falcon.
we're not gonna enter into any contracts to do maintenance in Falcon Highlands. For instance, if they're tanking and painting, they would sign a contract with a contractor to have that accomplished. We're not gonna be financially involved, and that would involve us financially.
We're just strictly doing invoices.
We're just, well, we would, contract work that needs to be done in Falcon Highlands would be strictly between Falcon Highlands and the contractor. Same with, major materials. I mean.
Who's responsible though for the costs, for paying for
They are,
that?
Falcon Highlands.
Okay,
They're entering into the contract.
so if they bring in a contractor, they pay for that contract?
Right, we aren't entering into any, agreement with any contractors. That would be Falcon Highlands that would be,
Okay.
hiring that contractor. But we would oversee that work, but we wouldn't be on the contract.
Okay, thank you for clarifying that, because it was.
So they're basically just bringing us on as an independent contractor to run the water system.
Just to operate, keep their system in compliance and, provide for them,
Okay.
24-hour, operation. Like in the past, they've had some problems when they've had, emergency after hours, and it's caused some trouble for them.
So
And
no,
I've seen that we added in the minimum charge
We did,
for a call out
and I added that actually to our employee manual also.
Okay, good.
so then I would make sure, Ted, did you look over this? Ted?
Yeah.
That didn't sound like Ted.
Hey now, be nice.
Okay. Sherry?
My question is about number 9, about the insurance. The workers' comp we totally get is our employees. But then it wants a comprehensive public entity liability insurance and an automobile liability insurance, saying Falcon, its officers, directors, and employees shall be named. Are we contractors or are we covering them?
No, I've sent this over to our insurance company, and I already have our, insurance certificates in place for this. We are not insuring Falcon's officers,
So the confusion would be in the way that it's kind of written.
yeah.
So that's where, as long as that's what you're stating it is gonna be, then I would love for Ted to be able to look through this and confirm that it's written in that way as well. Or does it need to be kind of changed in
So
wording?
Ted's not on,
Ted, you there?
because,
Carl?
because I've discussed this with Ted, and we had two concerns that we resolved. And, one of them was materials, adding 15%
Right,
materials, and I don't recall what the other one was, but Ted was good, thought this document was really well written.
okay. Yeah, so I'd just like to make sure that
Run it by
Ted,
Ted.
yeah, run it by Ted, make sure it looks good.
Okay,
Because my impression, the way it's written, and again, workers comp for our employees is not a problem. But when we're talking about Falcon, its officers, its directors, and its employees, if we're a contractor, no other contractor is gonna do that kind of insurance.
Yeah. Just wanna make sure the wording's right.
Look over section 9.
Okay,
And then Jerry, Zach's gonna be doing I think I have his name right, Zach? Chad.
what's that?
And then my last issue
Yes.
is gonna be, issue 16, where it goes to Josh, which is great, their lawyer, which is great, Jerry, which is great, but our lawyer is not listed.
We need to change that.
which one?
16 notices.
Oh,
It's
okay.
not on there, but their lawyer is.
Yeah,
Again,
Very
you know,
good.
yeah, good catch.
okay, I missed something.
And I have one more, sorry.
Wait, hey, Sherry?
Yeah, you're
Hold on,
listed on
yes.
there, Jerry, for our district, but Ted's not on there.
Yes.
so-
Hold on 1 second. Ted, under number 16 for notices, their attorney is on there, but our attorney is not listed on there.
Oh, I see.
So we need to add him on there. Okay, go ahead, Sharon.
And then the last one is IBC, handling customer complaints.
Where's that at?
would fall on our legal?
I don't see that one,
Rachel.
unless you go back in the other.
Rachel? No. We're not doing, any administrative work for them. The only thing we're gonna do is bill them for our, monthly thing to get paid.
But we're using their equipment, right?
For landscaping, we're using their equipment.
So is that the reason for the insurance, or, guess I'm not understanding.
Well, our insurance should cover that
Because our
for when
insurance
we
would
use it.
cover us if
Yeah.
we're using it.
Yeah.
Our insurance should cover while we're using it,
I
but then
know
we're
I'm
not.
jumping backwards a little bit, but.
Right. So I guess I'm not following your question.
Go ahead.
I read the liability policy for Woodman Hills, it would cover them, because our employees would be acting on behalf of Woodman Hills at the time they're on their site, so they're
Right.
covered by, for liability purposes, up to $2 million, if I read it correctly, because you know I have the, just saying, we shouldn't need additional insurance.
Right.
And it shouldn't say Ted Benelo, it should say Woodman Hills attorney, whoever that may be, because if you switch attorneys, then it's just be a generic form of identifying whoever is a legal person.
And I had turned this over to our insurance company and told them what we're doing and made sure that the coverage would apply there, so.
Sherry, what page was that on?
I'm looking right now, give me 1 second.
Why do you have to have a license to access the landscape area? Just curious.
Why do we have to license?
Why do you have to
I
have
don't see
a
what you're
license
talking
to
about.
access the landscape? I'm just curious.
Where,
Page 3, top of page 3. This is ground license. I'm just curious.
Okay, so it's under Exhibit C
Oh,
that's why.
we're not that far.
for respond to system breakdowns or leaks, and then the next one is respond to and resolve customer complaints, problems as required.
well, grant of license is just an
So-
essential condition for us to be on the property.
She said
We're not trespassing.
Yes.
So she's talking exhibit C
Oh,
now,
you're
Jerry.
down the bottom.
Sherry's talking exhibit C, page 13.
So what's your issue with it, Sherry?
See.
Well, it's saying that we are responsible for responding to system breakdowns or leaks and dealing with customer complaints or
Yes.
problems.
Right here, that may include hiring of outside contractors, so that,
And/or warranty services as provided by district.
And then the next one is
But
respond to and resolve customer
in the
complaints
other
or
part,
problems.
it says that they would hire the contractor.
So are they talking
Yeah, it's
like
like-
water? I mean, it's not explicit, it's not written detailed enough. Is it talking about like a complaint that their water's not working, or a complaint that they're not getting water? Or is it talking about just a general
I
complaint
would imagine
that their district and board
the
should handle?
complaints would be like, my water's brown, or I don't have water. then
Well,
we would
C
respond
though
to
is really more of an issue than even D, but,
Yeah.
cause the wording on that is contradicting what you were saying earlier.
About contractors, because it says hiring of outside contractors for repair and or warranty as approved by the district.
So if we have to respond to those breakdowns and leaks, are we charging them for that call?
Yeah, we're charging.
Yeah.
So we would charge them on that run.
So if
Okay.
somebody's water gets shut
And
off,
it-
who are
and
they
it was-
calling? Are they calling our district office? Or are they calling Falcon's district office?
I think it's different if it's, has to do with their billing versus a water complaint. If it's billing, that's their district office, so if it's shut-offs, it's their district office, but if something's
Yeah, but
wrong
if
with
we're an
their water.
independent contractor, the complaint needs to go through them.
Their numbers won't,
Exactly.
their
Right.
numbers won't change, you know, their contact numbers won't change. The thing is that, you know, there could be an instance where, there is an emergency and we would have their permission to hire a contractor to accomplish that, but that would still be between Falcon Highlands and the contractor, not between Woodman Hills and the contractor.
I'm just not happy with the way that's written.
Well,
I don't like the way this contract is written at all.
I don't like it either. I'm not on the board. I'm nobody.
you know, I mean, we can address your concerns, but
Is he?
if Ted was on here, we've been through it, he and Barb were through it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the the contract was understood, and, but if you have concerns like that, then I would say that Ted is the one that you need to
Yeah,
ask.
What are your thoughts, John?
Let's send it with those questions
Okay.
to Ted for review. And, I mean, this has been a while in the negotiation phase, so let's send it to him for review. Have him review it with those specific items on there that we need addressed. And just clean that up. It's, in one breath, they're asking us to operate their water system, in another breath, they're asking us just to be an independent contractor and surrender, like, almost surrendering decision-making authority on some of these issues or repairs that we may make over there. Do you, as the general manager, want to take that phone call where they brought another independent contractor in underneath you guys, and then you gotta go over there and fix somebody else's issue where they brought another contractor in?
You know.
I mean, I get it, they're paying for it, but
We,
And I look at it this way, does Jerry want his guys working over there if they're not using good contractors and one of our guys gets hurt?
Yep.
let's just make sure, have him review it again with those questions in there, and let's clean that portion of it up, that's my opinion
We'll
on
bring
it.
it to the special meeting.
And then we just schedule
I
a
agree.
special meeting, if they can get it done by the 6th, we can take it up there.
okay,
But we, just to answer those questions, cause some of the stuff like that and the contractor stuff was stuff that we had already talked about. And then it looks like they tried to stick it in there just in a different format.
right, and, you know, the conversation that took place between the two attorneys, would have addressed this, I would think. I wasn't there, so,
And
But,
it's
but-
dropped the call with Ted, so I can't
Yeah.
ask him personally,
Right.
so.
and
We'll
he's
just-
the guy that needs to clarify it, you know, it's just,
I would say let's do that.
Yeah.
That would be my opinion is,
mine too.
is
And the reason why is because I know that what you're saying is probably true, that's how they wanna do it. But it's gotta be worded properly, otherwise somebody's gonna get bit.
you know as well as we do with these contracts, everybody tries to take every loophole they can possibly
Yeah, and
get.
if they can sneak some wording in there that you
Close
didn't
'em up.
catch, boom, we're on hook.
it's not a problem with the top.
And I know they've been good to
Yeah.
work with over there, so I mean, I don't see an issue with them coming around and getting this all sorted out. I mean, they've been
So
really
Troy,
good.
do you want each of us to send our questions to Ted to review?
Send them to, I would say everybody send your questions to Jerry. Jerry can get with Ted and they can work that out with Falcon Highlands and then bring it back to us on May 6th.
Perfect.
So I will
Okay.
make that motion that we table this to the May 6th meeting pending, questions being answered by.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
I,
Okay, well.
No?
No, I'm just talking to myself.
All right. Banking resolution. You wanna explain that real quick, Rachel?
So the last resolution we have for our credit cards, states Eugene Cozzolino and Lisa Peterson. So,
Action that. Okay.
can I just say, Rachel, great catch. Thank you.
Hey, and I will say that the work you're doing over there, cleaning that stuff up and getting that, I mean, as far as from the audit, being done ahead of schedule to everything else that you're cleaning up and rearranging over there, that administration function for this district is phenomenal. And I thank you, cause it makes everybody else's job that much easier when we can get everything situated and sorted out and just running smoother, I feel. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. I read this before the meeting, is anybody? I'll motion that we approve, resolution number 2019-4-25-2. This is agents to act on behalf of the district in banking transactions. The two listed parties on here are Jerry Jacobson as the authorized cardholder of the account, Rachel Hawkins is the manager of the account. Any discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, motion carries.
So there was,
Do you have the copy for signature? You want me to sign this one?
you can sign that one,
Okay.
there's 29-4-25, and then there's 2019-4-25-2. Got both of them?
Oh, did I read off the wrong one?
There's just two of them.
I'm just
Two different
curious,
accounts.
why are there two?
There's
Oh,
two
two
different
different
accounts,
accounts,
yeah.
gotcha.
Okay.
Alright.
Okay, so I'll motion that we approve credit card resolution 19-4-25.
Second,
Any discussion? All in favor?
aye.
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 Okay, motion carries. I'll sign both of these when some meetings over. Okay, next item will be public comment. Mr. Martin, is there a sheet back there? You up first?
No.
Okay, first, person up will be Ron Bates.
Yeah. You got me in the video? You good? An answer would be suffice. Okay. So I'm officially here to let you know that Cora's dead in this district. This is a check I received for the money I wanted to pay for some payables. I have a website, y'all been to it, a lot of people have been to it, actually record numbers. I always like to keep things in record because I always hand out proof. Because people wanna call me names or say what they gotta do. And I get tired of it, but I put up with it. It's like a bunch of kids in a sandbox. I go to other meetings and I go to other places and I get treated a whole lot better there than I do here. And I give them the same amount of crap I do here. The reason why I know Cora is dead is if you read the back of that, it's a denial. When I ask for a record, I'm asking for a record as a citizen, just like everybody else in this room. I'm not asking for any special documents or anything that isn't done in the ordinary course of business. Okay, I have payables from previous to 2013 all the way back to I think 2008. Okay, and they were given to me with whatever cost or maybe no cost. I've made that clear that I've done it before. Now I'm gonna make a statement again. I've made it very clear that the lawyer here isn't following the law or the spirit of the law. The spirit of the law is transparency, whether it be a meeting, whether it be a document. But if you pay us your money, anybody, I don't care who it is, John can pay the money, I pay the money, you pay the money. Don't you think you have a right to know what your money's going to or where it's being spent? We have open bids for a reason. We have open everything for a reason. We actually have a title, 24, that specifically says we're supposed to be transparent. I think I've been more than fair about this whole transparency issue. Way more than fair. Okay? I've made the request for the same documents over and over. They can critique them all they want. They can look at them. On the back of the document, at the final column, it says we post payables. No, you don't. It's in the document. It's on the back of the table, by the way. Why is that relevant? Well, because if you don't have someone that's being open and honest and transparent, what do you think you expect from them otherwise? I post things about myself on a website, and I'm not even an elected official. Whether it's my bankruptcy, my house, my kids, whatever it is, just like I go on Facebook. Okay? And I'm not an elected official. So, I've made pretty much some very reasonable requests. One, we need a new attorney. Okay? Because the previous attorneys we had all let me have the payables. It was as simple as filling out a form. Now, I paid for them back then, some of them, I don't know what the number was, but they always accused me of not having money. I didn't bring my money tonight because I was going to throw it at you and let you have a couple grand, just because it's all about money. Now that I'm not being sued by the district or hauled into court by somebody else, I actually have a few bucks, I can afford to do it. 2, when I walk out of a building at my age and I'm subjected to 3-year-old playground crap, I know that I did check with the sheriff's office, and it's called harassment. Okay, there's no need of it. Okay, I had a new truck, I actually had several new trucks. I also had a motorcycle, very nice motorcycle, by the way, and it took me time to get that motorcycle, it's now gone, along with my truck and some other things. But if you guys don't wanna listen to your constituents, the door's there, it's very clear, and a recall will solve the problem. It's just that simple. I have a committee that's available to do it, it's not a big deal. I've asked you to do some pretty simple things. If you can't turn over the payables for the last 4 years, that tells me something's wrong. Now, unless Mrs. Ringen was lying, and I doubt she was, I know that the information I'm seeking is in the payables, and I'm gonna keep asking for them. Now, under the rules, you have so many days to respond. If not, you're supposed to have someone contact me verbally and tell me why, or come to an agreement on why I can or cannot have them. But based on the statement in there, it's claiming that in those documents, there's some commercial thing that applies, and that doesn't apply in this case, because it's still public funds. It's what it is. And if the other 5 districts around here can give them to me without charging me, or actually post them, why aren't we? And why isn't anybody else brought it up? And that includes the city and the county. So anyways, if anybody's got any questions, or they wanna jump on me, or call me names, I'm always up for that. As you know me, I'll just go home and do a video about it, but this isn't my only fight, guys. I'm also dealing with a governor's situation that I'm gonna work on as well. Got my sign out front, anybody wants one, I got extras. You know, I paid for them, you can have one for free. It's Mr. Polis's "Get the hell out of here" sign, but if anybody's, I'm sorry, I'll be happy to give you a sign, I paid for it and I earned it, it's my money. So if you want a sign, I got 4 more to go, so if you wanna put one in your yard. And if that's it, if you have anybody questions, that's it.
Thank you.
Hey, you're welcome.
Do you have a copy of this? This is dated the 31st of May.
2018. This is 2018.
Oh.
Yeah, I know there's something going on with the date, but that's what I received from them, so I don't know if that's from an old thing or something from last year that had to do with it, but that's what they sent me as an attachment to email.
Well, the request is from the 31st of May, 2018.
Oh, that might be the wrong, I have the other one out here, I'll get it for you. Let me get the right one. And if not, Troy, I can get it, it's on the website.
Okay.
Yeah, I gave you last year's, I'll get you the new one.
Okay,
I'll
thank
get you
you.
all the new one.
Thank
Okay?
you.
Is that all right?
That's fine, and I don't go to your website,
All right.
so. All right, I don't wanna butcher your last name. Rich?
Yeah, I just got a dumb question. What time do the meetings start? Because here it says 5:30 and on my,
Executive
statement
session
says
starts at 5:30, and then
6:30, so just,
executive session starts at 5:30, and then the meeting immediately after. We never know how long executive session's gonna last, so. This one happened to go quick, and that's why they put on the agenda that the meeting or public session resumes immediately after executive session. But on this one, they put on there, but no earlier than 6 p.m. So that everybody would know to be here by 6.
so is
Okay.
my.
So generally, our meetings, our executive sessions have been going till 7:15, and then everybody's waiting outside. So to try to not have that happen, we're trying to speed up executive session, and tonight we just happened to get done a lot sooner than we thought.
What time should the public show up then?
Well, executive sessions used to always be after the meeting.
Well-
Then we all got to go home.
Yeah, I agree.
And then you guys changed it. This is the first time it's been changed.
Well, my question to you would be, if we have something in executive session that then becomes ready to be acted upon, we would be taking action after executive session,
Is-
after everybody's gone.
Right, and are there, I don't know the legalities on the rules of, there's things about it has to be posted and then 30 days later you review blah, 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 blah. So I don't know if it's normal that things that are discussed in executive session can be acted on, and
Yes, they
therefore
can.
then, okay, so.
After, not in executive session,
Right,
but
it has to be in the public,
outside,
right.
in a public session. Yes, sir.
I don't mean to stick them, but most of the districts, notwithstanding ours, we used to do ours at the end too. The reason being is because we had information or situations come up in the meeting, they can then go into, but this was before this board was here.
Right.
It was a long time ago, but other districts do it at the end in case we have, oops, we got a moment, or someone made a comment, we have to then go into executive session and talk about it, so. I would think that maybe, as a suggestion, maybe we could do that, just put it to the end, unless you don't wanna pay Ted, which I agree with.
Yes.
So, I'm Daniel Cole, I do communications for the district, and, the meeting for at least about a year has been starting at 5:30, as we've said, with executive session at the beginning, and then the public session resuming immediately thereafter. And what we decided to do this time, in response to a thoughtful criticism received from a resident, was give a time no earlier than which the public session will resume. So in this agenda, we said it'll resume no earlier than 6, which was our best estimate of when executive session would finish, and in fact was right almost to the minute. Because what we're trying to communicate is, hey, you don't need to show up before 6, because there's no way we're gonna go back into public session before 6. So we're trying to give more guidance to make it easier for people to attend and not be sitting out in the hallway.
Where did you post this? Cause I never got anything.
Email.
Email,
I
website.
didn't get one.
I actually put it on the app, what's the name of that website? Next door.
So that's the logic
Okay.
of why we did the agenda this way, to try to give more guidance and make it easier to attend without having people waiting in the hallway.
Is it normal that during executives, and you've been doing this, and I didn't think it was for a year, but if it is, that you have come across things that then do get acted on during public session, because then you have to amend the
Yes.
agenda,
Yeah.
right? You have to amend the agenda
And
because.
hence some of the things that we have brought out in other business, and things that have been covered and finalized in that very same executive session. We only meet typically once a month.
Right.
I mean, this has been a rare deal where we've had special meetings and stuff, but generally, if there's something that we can hammer out negotiation-wise, or something to make a firm decision on out of that executive session, we're not gonna kick it down the road to the next month. We're gonna take action on
Well,
it.
you know, for the first 3 years that I went to the meetings, they were always at the end.
Right.
I have been going to school board meetings for 4 years, they are always
But
at the end.
then what did you see with those boards? You saw they would have executive session at the end, and then next thing you know, there's a special meeting at 10 o'clock Monday morning to take action on those items. We would rather have the executive session at the start, and if we can take action on an item, take action right here in public meeting directly after that. For that specific reason, we're not, even the special meeting that, and I'll announce that here before we adjourn, but the special meeting we just decided on that needs to take care of something from executive session today. But instead of extending out executive session with 2 board members by phone and a lawyer by phone, because everybody's out of state on vacation, we are going to have a special meeting, but it will be at a time to where the public can all get off work and be here. So, I hope that clarifies it. I know it makes it clear as mud in some cases. It's the best explanation. We can try to make it as easy as possible for everybody, but we are never gonna be able
Well, I
to.
gotta understand that, I'm just trying to, find a good time that I can show up so I can get the babysitter, scheduled properly, because then everything kind of is a domino effect, so you don't know, I don't know, babysitter doesn't know, the parents don't know, so I'm just trying to get a better feel, so I'm just gonna get a Ted camp out here.
I think from now on, we're gonna do that though, where it's executive session 5:30, and then we won't start any earlier than 6. So you don't have to show up until 6.
Yeah.
But then if our executive session goes long,
Well, we still could be here till
Yeah,
7,
but-
7.
We had,
I know.
you guys have been here for some of those where executive sessions went till 7:30.
We're here.
That's right.
So,
Yeah.
and everybody's
That's
been staying
yeah,
outside.
and we really do try to keep that short.
Yeah, nobody's gonna, slam you for keeping it long or short or whatever. Just if we're here and you gotta take care of business for a little longer, so be it. But at least we're here.
It's a lot of stuff to try to pack into one meeting every month, so. Did you have anything else? Did that answer? Okay.
No, yeah, could I just ask a dumb question for the water thing?
The only dumb one's the one not asked.
Okay, then I'm gonna ask a smart question. Yeah, I'm on the other side of, number 2 hole, and I saw, I guess last week or so, you were emptying out cell number or whatever it was, and there seemed to be a little bit of stench, not as bad as it was in years past. So I'm just wondering, are those holding ponds still gonna be there, and if they are, do you plan on having, controlling the stench at all, or, it's not as, like I said, it's not as bad as it used to be years ago. It's improving, so you get kudos for that. I'm just curious.
No, it'll probably be, next year before we have, those cells all clean. We budgeted a certain amount, every year for that. Those are, once they're clean, they're not being used anymore, so,
Okay, so they're not gonna be there again to evaporate or something like that in the future after you get them all cleaned up, is that what you're saying?
right, we don't know exactly what the future will be, we haven't decided
Well,
what
that's
we use
bad,
it
you
for.
know, if you can't plan if you don't know what the future's gonna be, I'm just kidding.
But, anyway, yeah, there's certain characteristics of each cell, and, yeah, whenever we're doing the work that we did, it always causes odors. The other thing is that typically in the spring, you do have problems, I won't go into the biology of it, but,
Well, I know, cause I got a background in that, so from other states and things like that, that's why I'm kinda curious. And I don't know if you have to have them covered now by law or something, or just drain completely, or I don't know how it goes, cause I was looking at the details online that you had, you were saying, you're gonna get this thing, and you got a nice building and everything, and you got pumps going and everything, and I didn't know what the status was, and we could talk offline, I don't know, but, I know this bores you, but we can talk offline about technical stuff.
It's for the ducks.
It doesn't bore me. I've been over there taking a tour of the new place and everything. It doesn't
Well,
bore me at
then
all.
the 3 of us can get
It's pretty,
together.
it's pretty remarkable
That's
what
all
they can do.
Ponds are for the ducks.
All right, thank you, sir. Judy Lord.
Oh, I just have a question. My neighbor, came over the other day, and this is for Rachel, actually. He is like the majority of us, he pays his bill, it goes automatic, just like mine does. But he asked for, he gets a copy mailed to him every month, as I do, so we can just look at it and complain about it or whatever we wanna do. But the thing is that you guys send an envelope, even though it's just a copy of the bill, you send an envelope with that. So he was wondering, for those that pay automatically, is there a way you could save some money and not send an envelope,
We can look into it, we do use a third-party shipper for it, so
Okay,
that would be part of
Yeah.
it, but
and
we
they
can ask
charge you for that, I'll bet you anything, okay, we're charging you for this piece of paper and then for this envelope. So there was he just asked me, why he asked me, I don't know. I
Yeah,
have
we
no
can look
clue.
into it for sure and ask them if they would be able to do that.
I mean, because it does say, I think it says it on there.
Yeah,
that
this
it's-
is a duplicate,
This
do
is
not
a
pay,
duplicate, do not pay.
or
Yeah,
this otter draft.
Or
would be-
something like
yeah,
that.
It does tell you not to pay it though.
yeah. So I use mine for writing grocery lists on it, so. Thank you.
Yeah.
That was it.
Okay, thank you. All right, that was it for public comment. Any other business? Sherry, anything? Are you still there?
No,
Okay,
I'm still here, it's all good.
all right. No other business, I will motion that we adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. The next meeting will be on May 6th at 5:30. It will be a special meeting. It will be a executive session, but there will be a piece of stuff that we'll have to take action on, so.